Welcome to MMA Heat, the show that's all about heart, endurance, aggression, and technique in MMA and in entertainment. I'm Karyn Bryant. We're coming to you from the Fortune Gym in Los Angeles, California, and we have several enduring figures in the fight game coming your way. WBC Light Heavyweight Champ and boxing legend Bernard Hopkins is going to let us know why he has so much respect for MMA fighters. And we'll hear from Malaipet Sasiprapa. He is a Muay Thai superstar, going to give us some kicking techniques and a demo. And also we'll join UFC fighters Josh Koscheck, McGee, and former New England Patriot Stephen Neal at a Fight for Wrestling charity event. But first, we're going to get things started with Hieron. He is the winner of the Season 4 Bellator Welterweight Tournament, also a former IFL Welterweight Champ and a Strikeforce fighter. At the time of our interview, he has been on a 10-fight win streak. A man has not lost since 2007. We joined him out at Xtreme Couture in Las Vegas, found out how he has had so much endurance in a sport that literally saved his life. Let's talk about Xtreme Couture because you've been here for a while. First and foremost,
day one.
That's right. We should point out to folks, and I want to talk about this canvas because the canvas on the wall, spattered with blood, splattered with Hieron.
That's my DNA on that.
So let's talk about that. What fight
that
is that?
Actually, that is a classic right there. That's the first fight night UFC ever had.
Wow.
Yeah, I was on that card. Actually, I wish I got the W that fight, but. Hey, it is what it is. People say, why do you got it up there? It's a loss. You know, I just, whatever, it looks good in the gym, and, you know, it's kind of, it looks like a warrior, blood all over it. It's cool. It's motivation for me anyway. You know, stuff like that in my life and losses and everything that happens to me, it fuels my fire. So, you know, I look at that every day. I get motivation. I was winning the fight, actually, but I got kneed in the head and, you know, blood was everywhere. They did let the fight go on a while before they stopped it, but hands down the bloodiest fight UFC. You could talk to Stitch Duran, you know, hands down.
Man, and who were you fighting?
Jonathan Goulet. Yeah. I was winning the fight. He kneed me in the head, and you know, stuff happens. We're all fighters, man. You know, you just keep going. I mean, that's why we do it. If you're a professional, you've been there before. You've been hot, you've been bloody, you've been sweaty, you've been tired, you've been in a position where, you know, 99% of men would quit. You know what I mean? We're fighters, though, so that's why we're here. We do it.
I do want to talk about the fact that, in a way, could you say that martial arts saved your life and it definitely got you on the right path? Because when you were younger, maybe everything wasn't going your way. I mean, do you feel that the sport kind of helped straighten you out and get your life in order?
Most definitely. I say it all the time. I say definitely, you know, thanks to God for just showing me the way to, you know, to the gym that day when I was going through all this stuff in my life that, you know, I made a pact with myself and him saying, you know, that's it. You know, I'm going to do this 100%. And, you know, no matter where it takes me. And ever since, I've been, you know, in the game and training hard, and I found my niche, you know. I found something that I love to do. It makes me feel fulfilled, you know, that I have something I can, you know, that I love to do, and then, you know, everything else is a plus. I get paid to do what I love to do. You know, so it's great. You know, that's why I always tell kids, you know, try different things. You don't have to be a fighter to feel, you know, a certain way. You could do anything you want, you know, just try to find different things, you know. Sports and fighting was my way to, you know, to get out and do what I love to do. But there's a millions of things you could do.
So we do talk about heart, endurance, aggression, and technique for MMA Heat. What do you think has kept you in the game?
Everything.
I say endurance because we were kind of joking with Ray, but you know, you cannot take Hieron out of MMA. You just can't.
I don't know. I sometimes I'll be like, I'm like, damn, you know. Actually, last year was the first time in my, you know what I mean, and this is like the first time I'm telling anybody. I had a day or two where I was like, I don't know if, you know what I mean, I might have to retire because it's not going my way, you know, with my personal life. I had a divorce. I was going through the contract stuff, and if you take something away you love the most in your life, and that's my fighting, you know what I mean, I'm just like, you know, what now? You know, I felt empty, so it was only 2 days though.
Okay.
2 days, I was like, what am I thinking? Right back to the gym. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but I know that the gym is like, when I come here, it just makes me feel better, no matter what I'm going through. So I keep doing that, I keep working hard, and I think good things happen. So I'm going to keep doing that. You know, I look up to guys like Randy Couture, Bernard Hopkins, you know, the older gentlemen that, you know, put those years of hard work. And Bernard Hopkins didn't start getting noticed until what, 38 probably?
Yeah.
You know, his later stages, like he was a world champion a long time ago. He was the guy that was on the small shows and nobody was paying attention to, and he just kept weathering the storms and just kept training hard and doing what he had to do, the hard work that nobody sees, the road work, the training, the sparring, the sweating, the blood, the sweats, the tears, and finally just it started turning out around for him. So I mean, that's me. You know, that's me, a guy like that no matter what happens, I'm gonna keep working hard and I'm gonna just carve my way out. You know, I don't have to have anybody give me anything. I'm gonna make my own way.
Jay is definitely making his own way. Got all 4 Heat principles working for him. Always going to be fans of him here at the show. Well, stay with us. When we return, we're going to go to the gym with one of the men Jay was just talking about, boxing legend Bernard Hopkins, who is also a real big MMA fan. You're watching MMA Heat. I'm Karyn Bryant. Still to come on the program, Muay Thai kicking techniques with Malaipet Sasiprapa. But right now, it's time to go to the gym with WBC Light Heavyweight Champ Bernard Hopkins, who is still showing tons of aggression and technique at age 46. In his career, he has beaten Antonio Tarver, Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Roy Jones Jr., Winky Wright, Kelly Pavlik, just to name a few. We caught up with him at the UFC 133 open workouts and found out why this legendary boxer has learned to respect the guys in the cage. We're here at your gym for the UFC Open workouts. What do you make of MMA and how much people like to compare the two sports, MMA and boxing?
Well, first of all, I love the MMA and I love the UFC because it's a sport within itself because it separates, I think, the styles and the way they train from boxing. And to me, boxing is a more of a craftsmanship of being more patient to get your target, eventually execute. MMA is you deal with the ground, the floor rather, and then you deal with the fighting on your feet. And there's a lot of things you can do in that type of sport that we can't do in boxing. So I really think it's two different sports where they should be respected differently. But I must say that they took some of our fans. Yeah. And so I don't like that. Right. But in the same token, you can't hate the game to be a part of it. And I'm a part of it. I always, I wasn't always with the game, but I've learned and it grew on me because I've seen and met a couple of guys that train here to respect what they do, and they respect what I do. So, and look, one thing about UFC and MMA, it's the real deal. It's no phony blood. It's no learning how to jump off the rope and roll and pretend you're hurting somebody. This is not wrestling. This is the real deal. And I can go on air and record and say that I got mad respect for what they do. Nice,
very nice. Well, and the truth of it is, too, is you can't be a good MMA fighter, a complete MMA fighter, without being a great boxer. You know, you've got to get that in there. So I'm interested, though, when you're watching MMA, do you kind of cringe at some of the boxing skills these guys have? Is there a few things you'd love to show them how to do a little better?
Yeah, the one thing I do see, I would like to show them certain things that I see that they don't do well on their feet, as far as the boxing part of it. A lot of elbows is too wide, ribs are exposed, and a lot of hands are down to the waist because they're looking to get leverage when they kick, obviously. But you got to have a little piece of everything in their sport to be competitive, because you can't have your hands too high because you can get kicked in the stomach, you can kick there. So I do understand why it's like that. It's a lot going on. But yeah, I do see some things that I can actually, like, they say throw your 2 cents in and let them know, like, keep your chin down a little bit. You're too straight up in the air, your chin too straight up. And try to use the jab to set up the left foot or left leg or left jab or left right hand. So it's a little ins and out that I can do to enhance the ability.
Did you happen to see the fight when James Toney took on Randy Couture? And if so, what did you think of that?
I seen the submission. I seen James Toney saying, wait a minute, what the hell I get myself into? I don't believe no boxer can beat not only a UFC or MMA fighter, but he don't even have to be a UFC or MMA fighter, a champion. Anybody that's from experience will always be a problem for any boxer because they are trained to do things that we are trained not to do. And when the ground start being effective, somebody's going to be getting hurt, and that won't be the MMA or the UFC guy. It's two different worlds, two different mentalities. There's no successful boxer I know that's been successful beating any of those type of athletes because of what they do and what we do. But we all have one thing in common, and that is to do all we can do and work very hard to be the best. And a lot of that is the same equipment, the same mentality, but the skills and the way we are trained and the way we execute is totally different than boxer versus MMA or UFC.
If you'd like more with Bernard, check out MMAHeat.com. You'll hear how this man has been able to endure in the sport of boxing for so long. Don't go away, though. When we come back, Muay Thai kicking techniques with Malaipet Sasiprapa. I'm Karyn Bryant. You are watching MMA Heat. Still to come, Josh Koscheck and McGee tell us why they are fighting for wrestling. But first, it is time for some technique with Malaipet Sasiprapa. He is a 7-time World Muay Thai Champion. He has also fought in kickboxing, and you may have even seen him in Elite XC. He is known for having some of the most brutalizing, devastating kicks in the game. So we went out to Warriors Combat Academy in Rancho Cucamonga to get a little technique and demo. Have a look.
And now I show the kicking, how you hurt person. One thing, you have to kick the shoulder or the armpits on the rib. And the armpits and shoulder, that's how I show the kick. When you first stand, kick same side. From here, you have to kick his arm. When he punch you or that, you have to kick him the arm, make them hurt. I stand, up and down, hand, hip straight, forward, look target. Up, then, up, then, hand, look target, swing shoulder, up, turn. This for kick the arm when the person turn the right point, that's why you hit him. Hold to grab or hold to punch you back. Now I want to show you kick the rib, the body, kick the kidney. The kidney now. Same side this. We'll kick the kidney. I stand. Stand. Bob, then. Bob. Bob. Next one, show you how the Muay Thai fast stand do the kick. When you kick low kick, make sure you don't kick the thigh. Make sure you kick the outside from the knee. The thigh, when you good exercise, you run a lot and good shape. No hurt at all for when you kick. But the muscle behind the knee, that's how he call. You have to kick there, the knee can pop out too, you know. And the partner hurt more. Same side, Muay Thai. Bend your knee, turn, bob, 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 turn. That's how they kick when you shot the leg. He can kick hard, he can pop out the knee. That's how you can walk, because the front, when people fight, or he put weight on the front leg. That's how you get. And next, show how push kick different yourself. The original training, we push kick with whole feet. See, whole feet. But original, when we fighting, we push kick with toe. Point your toe to the other step and stomach. See? Point your toe to the When you push his stomach, always stomach inside fucked up, really bad, and you know, make sure when you guys sparring training, push it, do like that. Don't do like this with toe. That's for the fighting. When you're fighting, you push it with toe. When you pee, always blood. Okay, do push it leg, body, and the face. See, boom, boom, boom. Push it with toe. See my hand, feet, point it, always with toe. 1, 2, see, always hurt. Put your toe close together and push kick. That's how the easy sample to get the partner hurt and he shaking hard and he don't want to fight with you.
I love Malaipet. He is so sweet and so brutal at the same time. Now, he has also recently been immortalized in a video game. You can look for him in the lineup of Supremacy MMA. Still to come on the program, UFC fighters raise money for college wrestling. You are watching MMA Heat. I am Karyn Bryant, and it is time now to hear about Fight for Wrestling. This is an organization that's been put together to raise money for college wrestling programs that are sometimes being eliminated due to Title IX rules. We joined them at a charity poker event for Cal State Bakersfield, and we were able to catch up with UFC fighters Josh Koscheck and McGee and former New England Patriot Stephen Neal, and found out why college wrestling matters and why these programs are worth saving.
I think it's awesome. I have the Crusher Wrestling Club in Utah, and it gives kids the opportunity to wrestle for next to nothing. And so I'm big for it. I was a wrestler in high school, and I lost my scholarship because of Title IX. And so, I mean, the guys who do get the opportunity to wrestle, get extra money and keep them wrestling, man. I mean, wrestling's one of the greatest sports on the planet. Fighting and mixed martial arts and being a martial artist allows me to, put forth the effort to something different and for a good cause. I fight, number one, to carry the message to other people who struggle. Number two is to better take care of my family. And number three is because I love competition. I love figuring out how to beat somebody that's like size and weight, and I enjoy that. But number one is to carry the message, and not to mention be a part of stuff like this. I get the opportunity to travel out here and help with something that's going to allow these guys to wrestle a little bit more comfortably, because this man, wrestling doesn't bring a huge crowd. Hopefully doing stuff like this brings a little bit more people in, but I mean, and the wrestling background's great for MMA, so I attribute a lot of my success to wrestling. Not to mention my high school wrestling coach who married my wife and I. That's awesome.
Really?
That's how much I love wrestling, yeah.
Not to be too long-winded, but I took 4th in state at California. Not too many schools wanted me. I was the same height, about 6'4" and a half. Wrestled 189, took 4th, and Bakersfield took a chance on me. They recruited me. They really wanted me, and no one else kind of had that much passion. So I came here, ended up winning the Junior Nationals that year. A lot of other teams came forward and said they wanted me, but I had made a commitment to the people who wanted me. And then I had a great career. I had a lot of great workout partners, and I was able to win the Nationals twice, 4-time All-American, and win the World Championships of wrestling. And wrestling, you learn perseverance is so important. You come into college as a freshman, and in my case, I got my tail whipped every day for quite a while. But the longer you stick around, the more tail whipping you get to do. So it kind of pays off, and just that hard work pays, and I'm so fortunate to have all the chances in life that I've had, because I don't know if I've been too dumb to keep going or just too stubborn to keep going, but I stuck with everything, and I believed I belonged in college for wrestling. I believed I belonged in NFL for football, and I was very fortunate to have coaches in my life that directed me in the right place, and I didn't have as much pride as other guys, and I was able to take the coaching to heart and really improve.
I think every school in the country that is involved with wrestling, definitely, except for like the big schools like the Iowas, the Oklahoma States, Title IX is a shaky thing, and I don't want to get into a debate of whether it should be more women's sports or more men's sports. I think that everybody has a fair chance, but I definitely think that wrestling is a strong tradition. It's got a rich history. It's been around for a long time. It's an Olympic sport, and I think that now that mixed martial arts is as big as it is, and it's continued to growing, wrestling is one of the aspects of mixed martial arts. So I think that people are now starting to realize that it's an opportunity now to keep these wrestling programs, because I mean, in California, how many Division I wrestling schools are there? You know, there's not that many. Fresno State doesn't have one now, and Fresno State was a great school for wrestling. So I think that it starts from the top at every college. The presidents need to get their heads out of their asses and honestly wake up and see that this is a growing sport. And there's tons of kids and tons of families that, you know, can't afford to, you know, go out there and spend millions of dollars or hundreds of dollars in equipment for other sports such as baseball. You know, you got to buy bats, you got to buy all this equipment. Wrestling, all you need is a pair of shoes. That's it. And I think that it starts with administration at the top of every university. They need to get their head out of their asses, and they need to realize that this is a sport just like any other sport, and dedicate and bring back the wrestling programs. It all started, you know, with the back in the day. You had, you know, obviously the Randy Couture, the Colemans, the Kevin Jackson was in the MMA. You know, the list goes on and on. Chuck Liddell is from, you know, a wrestling background. Yeah, I'm sure if Stephen Neal didn't go to the NFL, he would been in mixed martial arts. So the wrestling background, you know, is a big part of the UFC and a big part of mixed martial arts. And, you know, I just think that it deserves a fair chance, just like all the other sports.
Those guys are passionate about wrestling for sure. And I personally want to thank Stephen Neal for all his years as a New England Patriot. That's my team, baby. Well, that does it for us here at MMA Heat. I want to thank everybody at Fortune Gym for their hospitality. I want to remind you that there is plenty more MMA Heat on MMAHeat.com. You can also join our Facebook fan page. Look for MMA Heat and me on Twitter. I'm Karyn Bryant, and I'll see you next time.